So you're all familiar, if you've logged into Google Analytics previously, you're all familiar with this interface. To access V5, you'll notice in the top right now, or the top middle of your screen, there's a new version link. And by clicking that, you get taken right over to Google Analytics V5, and you get the opportunity to start exploring. Now, V5 is in beta right now, so there may be a few things that you find that aren't there yet, or there may be some bugs that you find. And in the UI, they've actually added in a feedback form. So by clicking feedback, you can give feedback back to Google. Recently, there was an issue with that link, but I believe an update's been pushed out to make the link work properly now. So when you first click over, what you'll look at here is you can see a completely new UI and navigation structure. And this is the account homepage. And so what you'll see in the middle of the screen is a listing of all your accounts and profiles. And this can be accessed from anywhere in the new Google Analytics V5 by clicking the Home button in the upper right. You'll also see on the right side a gear icon. And this will now give you access to the administration pages within Google Analytics. We'll jump into some of the details on these pages as we move through the presentation. And next to that, in the main area of the home page, are searchable account and profile lists. So you'll see on the top right, there's a pull-down menu there, but as well in the middle of the screen. And both of these are fully searchable. And as you type in your search terms, the list will start filtering for you on the fly. This is really great and really powerful as you start having lots of accounts or lots of profiles that you manage. It makes it a lot easier to filter things down. As well, within the profile listings, you'll actually see a few icons here. And these icons are great. They'll actually take you directly into the visitors, content, traffic sources, or goals report. So helping to minimize a few clicks from this page to get you where you want to go and get you analyzing your data as soon as you can. So as we said, the top navigation here is actually quite a bit different. Previously, you had dashboards and reports and everything all within your left navigation in Google Analytics. Now, some of those have been split out over the navigation. So here we've got dashboards, conversions, and custom reports that have been split out into separate top navigation items rather than being grouped in with the other reporting. Under the My Site tab is where you'll find your primary reports along with the intelligence reports. So these are the visitor, traffic sources, content, and conversion reports. Under the My Conversions tab, you'll see your goals and e-commerce reports. But for some folks, you'll see multi-channel funnels. And we'll discuss multi-channel funnels later in the webinar. But currently, they're only available for a select group that are part of a pilot program. And Google has not announced if and when this feature will be released to the rest of their users. But they did do a public announcement at it back in the beginning of April. And it's a really exciting new feature. So something that I think a lot of people will really like is we finally have some new dashboarding functions in Google Analytics. You can now create multiple dashboards. So now you can have a dashboard for different areas of your business or different stakeholders that you create and schedule reports for. This is really great. And to create a new dashboard, you just click the new dashboard link on the left navigation there. Also, to add widgets to your dashboard, you just click the Add Widget link right above the dashboard. Now, within your dashboard, you're still limited to 12 widgets per dashboard, but now you can create up to 20 separate dashboards. So this is really great. This is a big improvement to the previous dashboarding functions we had available to us. And though not perfect, is a big move in the right direction by Google and something I think a lot of people will appreciate. So if you go to add a widget into your dashboard, what you'll see now is a new pop-up menu. And what you get is a few different options for the type of widget you get to add. So you have a choice right now between a metric, a pie chart, a timeline, and a table widget. And though you can't add widgets directly from a report any longer, you are able to add filters as you create a widget. So the filters are really great because now I could filter on a specific dimension or metric and only show the data that I need related to maybe if I'm looking at a pages table, maybe I want to filter down to a specific area of my site. So to give you an example of how some of these will look within the report, let me just switch over here, and what you can see is on the left side here, we have a set of the metric widgets. In the middle, there's a table widget. Down below, there's a timeline widget, and on the right is a pie chart widget. And so we could have up to 12 of these various widgets throughout the site. Really easy now to just name my dashboard. I can just click here and call it whatever I like and click Save. And on the left, really easy to add more. You can edit any widget on the fly just by clicking the gear icon. You can change any of the dimensions and metrics that you're showing or add in a filter. So really a lot more powerful, the new dashboarding functions within Google Analytics, and something I think I'm really excited about because being reduced to a single dashboard previously was really tough sometimes to create the right summary of information for people based on their specific job or various other stakeholders within an organization. So as we move along and drilling in and accessing the primary reports under the My Site tab in the top nav, you'll see some other familiar navigation categories in the left navigation, such as visitors, traffic sources, and content. You also notice that goals and e-commerce have been replaced with conversions as the top sort of title identifier. Under these categories, you'll find a lot of the same reports, but you also find that some reports are moved and some are removed from Google Analytics. Google examined the usage of various reports and features within Google Analytics and has removed some of the rarely used features. Hopefully that's helped to keep the interface clean so they have room to add others going forward. At the top of the reports, you'll see links to advanced segments and to the export function. And they've been moved up a bit, but are still easily accessible at the top of the report you're looking at. Just to give you a bit of an idea of some of the navigation changes within Google Analytics. As an example, if you wanted to go and find your pages by title report, it's slightly different now in that I could navigate into the pages report, and you'll see that pages by title is no longer listed on the left. But up above the table in each report now, you have some other viewing links, and I can switch right here over to pages by title. So just an example, you'll find this under quite a few other reports that you may not see a link to the report directly in the left nav, but drilling into one of the similar reports from previously, those reports are now grouped together in one link. So looking a little more closely at the actual reporting interface, you'll notice quite a few changes. I'll cover a few of the main ones right here. The first is the moving and renaming of the inline filters. This has now been moved to the top of the data tables and renamed Search. So you'll see right in the top right blue square there, the Search identifier. By clicking the search button, it'll open the filtering interface that allows you to create these filters by selecting the dimensions and metrics you want to filter on. Very similar to the old advanced filter function. For some of us that were great with regular expressions, this does add a couple more clicks when creating filters as we no longer have a text box already on the page. But I think moving up to the top of the data table will help encourage more people to use it who otherwise may not have used it previously. And if it helps people explore the data further, hey, it's a great thing, right? Also, I mean, just having that interface right there does make it quite easy for folks. So similar to the advanced filtering you had before, you can have multiple items in there that you're filtering on, and you can get quite down detailed with your data in the filtering. Another change you'll notice is in the View menu. So this has been changed from buttons that used to be embedded on the page to a pull-down menu. And you'll also notice that in some reports there's now a tag cloud option. So this is really neat. And we'll explore the tag cloud or term cloud in a few minutes. But this can be a really neat way to visualize certain types of data, such as search keywords. Now, as mentioned in the last slide, the placement of the Advanced Segment menu has been changed to sit alongside the Export menu. Advanced Segments function pretty much the same as previously, but currently you'll notice that the Export feature is missing a couple features, primarily the PDF export and the emailing and scheduling functions. We've seen lots of changes to this new version over the last couple months, so I'm hoping that these are features that Google is just fine-tuning before releasing them back into the application better than ever. At least, these were both features we used a lot, so hopefully that is the case as we move forward, and I'm pretty sure that Google will bring them back soon. Now, as you look in at the actual reporting here and look at the graph and scorecard, you'll see that these have also been adjusted. The scorecard now sits above the graph rather than below it. And the report tabs that once appeared above the data table now appear as links up at the top, right above the scorecard. And though I think the reorganization here is great, I also feel the new interface will take time for some people to adjust to. Some of the links, they just aren't quite as obvious as the big tabs we used to have in V4. So, take your time and look around a screen. If you don't feel that you're able to quite find what was quite familiar previously, likely the link is just not standing out to you as much as it did, and it may have moved into quite a different place. So as mentioned in the previous slide there, we now have access to term clouds. And for certain reports, this is a really great way to visualize the data and get an idea of what stands out from the crowd. You can also use the dimension links at the top of the data table to switch between the various dimensions you want displayed. And of course, you can filter on the bottom of how many results you want to see in your tag cloud. So, if the tag cloud's looking a little too busy, you can narrow it down or you can expand it out. So one place you'll find this view is available is in the organic and paid search reports located under the traffic sources section. So just as a quick example here, I'll switch over to looking in the traffic sources report, and right now I'm on the organic search traffic. You'll see we've got a bunch of keywords listed here, and if I move over to the View tab and choose Term Cloud, oh, I love real time. There we go. So you'll see that it switches over to the term cloud. We've got 10 results, but we can expand that out to show more. And the bigger the words, the more common they are used in that time period. And so it can really jump things out to you. Interesting, we did a post on uncommon words that should be more common, and in the last month, that uncommon words has actually received a lot of search. Now here as well, I could switch this over to a variety of other options. So if I wanted, I could look at the source. What's my primary source driving traffic to the website? Or maybe looking at mediums. Wow, organic is hidden away there. But as you get an idea exploring this, and if you had a lot of search terms coming to your website, this could be really valuable to help you filter through and get to the data in a more visual manner. So I think one of my favorite updates so far, there are a lot of great updates, but it's the improvement to the custom reports. Custom reports are now so much more flexible in the reports you can create and how you can display that data. So to create a custom report, you want to go to the Custom Reports tab at the top of Google Analytics, and you can click in there and tell yourself, say, create custom report. Now within the report, as you move down the create custom report interface, you'll notice a few changes. The first is the ability to add a filter for the data before you even create the report. So now, rather than having to create a report and then maybe apply an inline filter, but that inline filter now has to be applied every time you go and look at the report, you can add a filter in ahead of time and really get it down to just the data you want in that report. This then, when you do get down to exporting or sending reports to others, it'll make it a lot easier than having to give them instructions on how you want them to filter things out. As we move further down, you'll see the type pull down. This is the biggest change, and I think for me at least. You now have two options in the type of report you'll see. The first is the Explorer, and this is the standard report that functions very similar to the previous custom reports. You can see a dimension, and when you click on that dimension, you can drill down deeper. And as you built up, you could have up to 5 dimensions previously, and you could keep drilling in. Well, that's great, but now the second option that you have in there is called a flat table. And I've included a bit of a description on the right, but you can easily get to this description from the custom reporting interface and looking at the help. But a flat table basically presents all the dimensions you have in a single table, with each dimension you've selected showing in the report at the same time. So think of how the secondary dimension works, but imagine having these 2 dimensions and 25 metrics all on the screen at the same time. You can really give you a lot more data about what's happening on your site. And last but not least, we now have what are called metric groups. And this allows us to see the same dimensions associated with different sets of metrics, so without having to switch to different reports. So now you can add these report groups, which are like tabs, and you get to see each of these groups associated with the same set of dimensions. Now, unfortunately, though, there are a lot of great new features in custom reports. Currently, you can't share the reports you create with others through the interface. But again, hopefully this is a feature that's going to be added back in the near future. And V5 is still in beta, so there's lots of things that are changing as we move along. Every month there's new updates. Every few weeks there's new updates coming along. If we do take a quick look at one of the custom reports interface here, you can see right here I'm creating a report, just my test report, including pages that start with the word blog. I've just got the report tab. I'm just left as report tab, but I could call it title by page. And I've added in the 2 dimensions here. Oh, I've chosen a flat table type, so you'll see how that looks in just a moment. I've chosen the page title and page. Maybe I'm trying to look at pages where multiple pages have the same title. I want to improve my SEO. So here I'm looking at a way where I can maybe identify multiple pages that use the same title. And I've thrown in some metrics, page views, bounce rate, time on page, entrances. So once you've added in your information here, you can just click Save. And now you'll see in the report, I've got both page title and page all together in the report. So rather than previously where you had to actually drill down, now let's see if I can let me show you an example here of if I add page title. Now here you can see I'm just having to type in, and it's very easy to find what I'm looking for, similar to the old interface. But now I actually have to, if I want to see the pages that fall under this page title, I have to click and now drill down into the report. So you can see by having your dimensions all displayed across on the same page, you really can get a lot more data at one time. Hopefully make some of the analysis you do go a lot faster. So a new set of reports that got a lot of attention in early April when it was announced and is currently in limited pilot and only available to a limited number of users is multi-channel funnels. And this allows you to analyze your traffic sources and different marketing channels under different attributions. So currently, Google Analytics in version 4 uses what is called last touch attribution. Now this means that the last traffic source that someone used to get to your site is attributed toward their conversion, except in the case of direct traffic under certain circumstances. But as a whole, you could say it's the last touch, the last marketing channel that somebody came in on is what's going to be attributed to a conversion. With multi-channel funnels, you have a lot more options around the attribution methods you can analyze over the last 30 days. And we'll review a few of those as we move forward here. So what you see in this slide is the overview report. The trend line at the top shows the number of conversions over time, and the bottom of the report shows the multi-channel mix. Now this multi-channel mix is actually pretty powerful, even though it appears in the overview report, which a lot of people tend to skip. So, take a look at it if you ever get a chance to get into the multi-channel funnels. So by selecting the various marketing channels here, you can start seeing the combination that leads to the most conversions. Now we can start looking at how we might adjust our ad spend across multiple marketing channels to drive the most conversions. So in this case, you can see I've got direct, organic search, and referrals. And over here, you start seeing where they overlap in people that actually interact with more than one or even all three of those. And within the interface, as you roll over these, it will give you actual numbers of the percent of people that are within there. One of the next reports under multi-channel funnels is the top conversion paths. And this report, I think, was a highly asked for report. It really actually gives what a lot of people were asking for. It reports on all the marketing activities in the last 30 days that led up to a conversion. So this is really neat, and it shows you the various ways that people are accessing your site. But similar to like navigation paths, sort of click paths, it may not provide you with the actionable insight you want without a little further digging. So some examples of this may be that you might want to limit the paths to keyword paths that led to conversions. So now you can start seeing how people fine-tune their searches as they go through and come back to your site. So an example of the top conversion paths report, just let me show you here, is right here. So by coming in under multi-channel funnels, you can click on the top conversion paths, and you'll see here that we've got the source medium path right now. We could flip this to anything. We could just do source. We could just do the medium. And a really interesting one here is channel groupings. So you can actually create your own channel groupings within here where you could group all your paid traffic together, so CPC traffic. But they do have some default groups, which are neat in that the default groups actually have social media and other items that help identify what's driving traffic to the site. So here you can see I've got organic search, direct, referral, but you could create a whole bunch of other channel groupings if you wanted, and that is in the actual management area under channel groupings, and I'll show you how to get to this in a little bit. So the last report I'm going to cover under multi-channel funnels is the assisted conversions report. So what is assisted conversion? So a marketing channel will get an assist if it contributed to a conversion in the last 30 days. So if it was accessed once, if it was used 5 times, doesn't matter. It'll get an assist if a conversion occurred from that click in the last 30 days. So on this report, you'll see how many times the channel was the last interaction or last touch before the conversion, and also how many times it acted as an assist. So using the other tabs in this report, you can also see assists related to first touch, and then break these up by their channel groupings, which I just showed you. So you'll be able to start analyzing what marketing channels are spreading your brand and getting people to your site, but also what marketing channels are then driving people to convert. So is this marketing channel acting like somebody is getting people to the site, but maybe it doesn't do well on actually converting people, where another channel doesn't do a great job of getting people there, but once people are there, it's actually converting them. So different ways. One may be higher up the conversion funnel, one's further down, lower down the conversion funnel. So with a little effort, these can be really powerful reports in helping you target your marketing campaigns to the right people, whether they are high in your funnel or low in your purchase funnel. So some really nice, this is something that's really powerful, and I hope Google does fine-tune it a little more and consider pushing it out to everybody in the near future. But there has not been an announced release date of these, but we are really excited about it. So one more primary item I'm going to go over is now one last reporting feature or change is we now get events as goals. So previously there was actions that occurred on a page that we would normally track as an event. But since we also wanted to track them as a goal, and because pages could only be tracked as goals, we had to send what's called a virtual page view to Google so that we could record these as goals. So this had a side effect of increasing our page views and associated metrics, when in reality the visitor wasn't really looking at another page. So now we can use events as we should and create goals out of those events. So this is really great. Now I could have, maybe I'm tracking downloads as events, maybe I'm actually tracking videos as events, and now I can start configuring certain things that are related to goals in there. So maybe if somebody watches more than 50% of a video, and I'm tracking the various distances they get through the video, now I can configure that if they watch more than 50%, I'm going to track that as a goal. Now, one of the actual limitations here is currently we don't have funnels, so you couldn't have multiple events that then led up to a goal. Funnels really, though, are more about content, so maybe they won't add those in, maybe they will. But maybe if you're looking at doing funnels, it makes more sense to fire a page view anyway. So something to consider as you go through it. The last sort of section of the new interface I want to go through is the administration side. So as I mentioned in the top right, you'll see the gear icon. By clicking on that, you get taken to your account listing page. And here it's going to show you all the accounts that you find that you have access to. By clicking on an account, you'll get taken into the actual account administration. So here now I'm in the Google Store site. I can see all the web properties I have here. I can manage the users, the filters, and the account settings. So this is all at the account level. Now if I click in a specific web property, I'm then taken into that web properties administration. So here what you'll see is a place now where you can actually manage a consolidated place to manage what Google's calling assets. And this would be your advanced segments, your annotations, your multi-channel funnels, channel groupings, custom alerts. But as well, this is where you get your tracking code, your web property settings, you manage goals, user access to the specific profile, filters, and other profile settings. So just to give you a little closer look here, and you can see the various different options that you get. So that we've gone through about our 30 minutes here. So that's the quick overview of the new V5 interface. There's lots of other things we can do, and over the coming months, we'll start digging deeper into specific features there, such as some of the new custom reporting and the things that you can do with it and the type of reports you might want to consider. Just some resources. As Cardinal Path, we do offer the Seminars for Success training. If you're really looking to get more into Google Analytics, really learn a lot more, you might consider signing up for one. We've got one coming up in Victoria next week, and there'll be more coming to Vancouver likely in the fall. There's also our blog. Justin Cutroni, one of the directors at Cardinal Path, he's done a great blog post about the new Google Analytics and some follow-up posts on the multi-channel funnels and custom reports and a few other features. And as always with Google Analytics, always take a look at the Google Help site if you're not sure on what to do. When accessing the help from within the V5 interface, you will get the new V5 help site. So lots of information there to help you work your way through. So I really appreciate you all taking the time today to log in and get an overview of the V5 interface. And if there's any questions now, I'd be happy to follow up and take them.
All right, David, we do have one question right off the bat. The secondary dimension option on the e-commerce product performance reports is missing. Will this be added back in?
Well, Google doesn't actually give us any formal knowledge of what they're going to put back in, but hopefully if it was something that was used regularly on the previous interface, then it's likely that they will add it back in, and it's just something that hasn't been put there. What I really suggest to you is use that feedback form. Definitely, the more feedback Google gets on something that may be missing, the higher priority they'll put to the possibility of adding it back in. So you see things missing right now, definitely let them know it's something that you want and something that you use, and get as many people as possible to submit the same thing.
From Bernadette Sanchez, I migrated some custom reports, but don't know where to find them under custom reporting.
Okay. Well, if you come in and you do go to your custom, once you've logged in and go to your custom reports tab, and you've migrated them, what you might find is that they aren't applied to the specific profile that you're in. So you may try down below, they often have a listing of where you can see what's attached to other profiles. But normally you should be able to see this custom reporting tab, and if it's applied to the specific profile that you are looking at in Google Analytics, you should see those custom reports listed there. And if not, if you can't find them or there was an issue with the migration, then definitely use the feedback form and let Google know.
Anyone else here? We'll give another minute, I think. Oh, here we are. Will you be able to transfer segments from old to new GA? From Caroline Grun-Tijans.
I hope so. Yeah, I think Google will definitely. You can see they've made they've implemented the option to migrate custom reports. So I'm pretty confident, and there is nothing that is for sure, but I'd be fairly confident that advanced segments will migrate. One thing I have found is that with a lot of my reports, I am already seeing advanced segments. So if you're not seeing them migrate, then they should migrate in the coming days. But I have, with reports where I am already using advanced segments, such as here the Google Store, I didn't do anything to migrate these, and I'm pretty sure they should be here. You can see I've got a whole bunch of segments here. So advanced segments should migrate automatically for you. If you don't see them, this could be another bug. But again, similar to what I said to Bernadette, is that advanced segments are specific to certain profiles. So if you don't see them, what you may want to do is drill into the admin area and go to the advanced segment management and see if maybe it's just not applied to the profile that you're on. And so by drilling down, you have to drill down to the profile level. Let me just jump back to my slide here. There you go. So if you drill down to that profile level, it's the third level in, you'll see that under specific profiles, you can manage your advanced segments. And you should be able to apply segments from other profiles to the one that you're on.
A question from Annie Cushing. In custom reports, if you use the week dimension, dates now show up as 201101 for the first week of January. For example, 201052 is the last week in December. Do you know how to change this format in Excel?
Annie, off the top of my head, I don't, but I think if you've signed up through GoToMeeting, I will talk to one of my guys here and I can send you something out later today. Because we should have your email address through the GoToWebinar sign up.
And that looks like it's it. If anyone has any questions they're in the middle of writing, I believe you can raise your hand now and we'll hold off for a little bit. Otherwise, I think we're good.
Great. Well, thanks a lot, everybody. Really appreciate you logging in today and giving me a little time to go through the V5 interface. We will be doing some more as Google's fine-tuning. As you can see in the interface, it is beta still, so if you see things that you feel aren't right, definitely let Google know. But it's a big update. It's worthwhile getting used to it, though you'll probably find that you still have to switch back and forth between the two to get certain things. There are a lot of new and really great reports in the V5 interface, so start getting the hang of it before